My apologies for not being with you this past week. There was some personal issues going on, but we are back this evening, and I am very, very excited for the show that we have for you guys tonight. We have a gentleman with us who decided to join the elite rock gods in his 50s, man, and they are making a movie about this called Still Rollin'. It is my privilege and my honor to bring into the fold Ben, Diana, and Todd. Guys, thank you so much for being here with us this evening.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
My first question is going to go straight to Ben. Ben, I mean, as somebody who's 51 years old, you decided, I mean, I'm 51. Wait, how old were you when you decided to get into this?
I was actually 54.
Wow.
And, my regular work was very stressful. And I had some friends that were some pretty famous players, a couple of them from Juliet Lewis and the Licks. And we started jamming for fun. They didn't even know I could sing. And they decided to book a show in Hollywood, and I'm like, no, man, come on, I'm too young for this. It's just a hobby. And we played the Key Club, which is now a dance club. It's west of the Rainbow Bar and Grill on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
And the next thing I knew, I was on tour with Alice Cooper, then Slash, then Fuel, and we blew up. So I did my first tour with LA Guns in Europe in December 2010, and we're still rolling.
Man, so what was the final straw that broke your back and said, "The hell with everything, I'm finally chasing what I should have done a long time ago"?
Well, when I was 9 years old and I heard Paint It Black on the radio, I was like, wow, I like that. And right up the street, because I was like 9 years old, my friends had a 50s rock band, and the lead singer was a real good-looking guy, and I'm like, that just looks like a lot of fun. When I was 17, I grew up in Encino Hills. My dad was a cardiologist. There was a bunch of rich kids, and this kid had a drum kit in the studio, and we got a guitar player and a bass player, and we started doing David Bowie covers. And actually, their parents came downstairs to the studio because they thought it sounded really good. Fast forward, they all flaked out. 38 years, when I was 18, I saw Alice Cooper at the Forum in LA. And I'm 18 was a hit on the radio at the time. I was 18 years old. 38 years later, I was opening for him on tour. That's how it all happened. It's just kind of some divine intervention. I mean, I never planned on it.
That's amazing. And Todd and Diana, how did you guys get involved in this project?
Well, Diana met Steven first, and then a producing friend of Steven's and mine introduced us, and it was just one of those things where we got talking. I found out the story, and I found out here. And it was more about the band. He was thinking more about the band. I was like, well, the band's cool and all, but the story is you. And this life that you've lived and everything, this retirement that you've created for yourself, and then we kind of put the band together to make the movie. And Diana was the ringleader for all of that, and the rest is history.
So, how long have you guys been associated with Ben? I mean, Ben, you just said it's been about 16 years, right, give or take.
Yeah, Diana and I have been associated for 6 years, and she actually directed this film and was the head editor. And I mean, I cannot put into words what a fabulous talent she is.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, actually, we all had this in our head. This is the story. This is a rare story. I don't think there is any cases or stories like his, because a lot of musicians, they start early, they start young. And then, they get older. Some of them still playing. Rolling Stones, Alice Cooper, they're all playing. They're pushing 90, right?
Yeah.
So, and like we have these stories, but actually the person who was like, okay, now it's a perfect timing. Like everybody have this mindset, like this is too late, man. Like I already put my life together the way it is. So we kind of, like I remember we're actually having dinner with Ben and Todd, and we're kind of like, okay, let's do this. And then we were thinking that we're going to put the documentary probably like maybe a year or two is a max, but we ended up making this movie for almost 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of things happened, a lot of things, like the beautiful and at the same time dramatic side of the documentary. When you make documentary, you don't really know, like the idea, but you don't know how exactly it's going to
play out.
What the
right.
finish. Yeah. Because, life happens and a lot of very sad and crazy.
A lot of life happened during the filming of this documentary. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about life then. Like when you decided to do this, were you married at the time? Were you tied down? I mean, you mentioned work. What were you doing at the time?
I was in a bad marriage that ended pretty shortly after that.
So she just decided, like, I'm not putting up with this.
No, it was just a mistake. And, the movie was it was, one of 5 documentaries selected for the prestigious Burbank International Film Festival. So
that's amazing.
The world premiere was there on Thursday, August 6th. And then I met Diana in November 2019. She had to leave the country for a while. She came back in February 2020. And I wanted to hire her to film this documentary because our visuals were never really that good. And I had met her at the Rainbow, and she showed me her work, and I'm like, yeah, this director can really get it done. So she directed the Show Me video, which actually got us our first major record deal, and it was the first music video to go viral. So Thank you very much for that, Diana. But then the pandemic hit, right, 6 weeks after that, and after 2.5 years, we played our first show in 2.5 years, headlined the Whiskey A Go-Go, and I think that was kind of the beginning of the documentary, as I remember.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Man, so I got to ask Todd and Diana, before you guys got involved with Vex, were you involved in the rock scene at all, in music at all?
Well, I had actually gotten away from it because I've been directing more scripted features and television shows, and but I had been really involved. I've produced and directed a number of music videos in the past, and also I'd done documentaries in there. I'd done award-winning documentaries. I'd done all this, but that was years ago, and so I was really focused on doing scripted work. And it was kind of right when the writer's strike was starting, and I was kind of like, well, I'm going to be sitting on my hands for a little while. And Ben comes to me and he goes, let's do this documentary. And I was like, perfect timing, let's go.
That's awesome. How about you, Diana?
Yeah, so I always loved rock music personally. From when I was growing up, my father was the huge fan of all the great music from 70s, from 80s, from 90s too. And so what I was doing, I was directing some music videos. I was not much. I'm more like a documentary kind of person, but I've been a video editor, was pretty much editing everything. So, but I love to go to the shows, and I just like everything that's about rock music always was in my heart. So there's just also another side why it's just I'm like, oh my god, we're definitely making this. Like it's plus Steven is a very interesting person himself. He was growing up in 60s and in 70s and 80s, so he caught each decade with all the music, with all the styles. He saw David Bowie live. He saw Rolling Stones where they just started. He's that's
Saw
incredible.
Elvis.
You know, he saw Elvis.
Wow.
Yeah,
So,
I saw
you know,
Elvis in Las Vegas in 1972.
That's
I was only
incredible.
17.
Jeez.
And the Exile on Main Street tour. And
Wow.
Stevie Wonder opened for the Rolling Stones. But Diana
Wow.
directed some artists in Eastern Europe, rock artists. Did a fabulous job. So I knew that she was the right person to do our next music video.
And Europe anymore, Europe seems to be where it's at as far as rock music is concerned. It seems like it's more appreciated there than maybe it is here in the States lately.
It depends on the genre, but like I said, I wanted to hire her to do our music video, and I saw other projects that she did, but Diana actually directed a few music videos for a female artist that were spectacular, absolutely spectacular. And like I said, the Show Me video went viral. It got me a record deal, and the song went to #2 on the USA commercial radio chart. So
Wow.
Congratulations to her, and congratulations to
thank you. Congratulations
my
to all of
band.
us.
So, what did it feel like? I mean, for you, Diana, then when you guys reached that position on the charts, man, like then you're in your 50s and this is happening for you. How did that feel?
Well, to be fair, you were a little older than in your 50s by the time you were charting.
I think that by the time I got the record deal, I was in my
64 or
60s.
65.
I got my first record deal at 66.
Wow.
And so we had already released 5 indie records. So we got signed by Pavement Entertainment, which is a hard rock label for Sony. Yeah. Puddle of Mud, Ted Nugent.
Pavement's a great label.
Dishwalla. They're all on that label. And they picked Show Me to go to radio, and the promoter, Eric Brenner. I'm like, damn, if you can get us in the top 40, that would be I would never dreamed of writing a song and recording a song to make the Billboard top 40.
Wow.
He goes, you're going a lot higher than that, and the song actually reached #2 on the chart.
That is amazing. Now, your first major tour was with Alice Cooper. How'd that come about?
Well, actually, the first major tour was December 2010 with LA Guns to Europe. We went back with them again in July 2011. Then we did our first USA tour in February 2012 with Fuel, with Brett Scallion.
Okay.
And right after that summer, we toured with Alice Cooper. And that was a thrill. What an incredible experience that was. To have seen him at 18 and not known that 38 years later I'd be touring with him, opening for him, it was a blast. He came into my dressing room. I think we played Kansas City, and we had a really good band. And I mean, we brought the house down. They usually would show up about 15 minutes after we were on stage, him and his band and entourage. And they were hearing this arena ringing to his dressing room. So the next night we were in St. Louis, Missouri. And I usually take the stage about 3 minutes after the band does. So I was in the dressing room, the band was on stage, and he comes walking in to my dressing room. It was like Wayne's World, I'm not worthy moment. He walks right up to me and he puts out his hand, he shakes my hand. I said, Alice, he said, you guys are great every night. And then he turned around and walked out, and his entire band was stage right for our entire set. So that was a pretty big compliment.
That's awesome.
The next summer we toured with Slash, and our manager, Bob Chaparty of Concrete Planet, he was the one that got us on all those tours.
And how was working with all these people? Did Phil and Tracy Slash, any of the other artists, did they communicate with you?
Tracy and I became good friends. When we first toured with them, there were 2 LA Guns, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Phil had his version, Tracy had his version, God, Jason, what was that guy's name? Jizzy Pearl. Jizzy Pearl from Love Hate was the lead singer. So the tour in 2010 and 11, Jizzy Pearl was the singer. Then
Gotcha.
eventually Tracy got back with Phil, and we ended up touring a third time with them, with the whole original lineup, in 2019. And when we came back from that tour, we were on fire. And we went in the studio, we recorded a killer record. I met Diana, we shot the video. Then COVID hit, but in April 2021, I was going to quit. And Jason came over, and I put my vocals, because we both have studios at our homes, and I put my vocal on this demo, and I was dreading all day telling him I'm done. By the time this bullshit ends, I'm going to be too old. And as he was bouncing the track, I was looking on my email, and there was a record deal offer from Pavement. I'm like,
wow.
It's not over, it's just beginning. And Diane and Todd did a great job of capturing that for the movie. So, yeah, then we, unfortunately, Jason got cancer. And they released the album with Pavement, and we had to use a fill-in guitar player for that tour. I had not been on stage without him for 15 years, which was a challenge.
Has age come into effect at all for you?
No, I feel great, man. I mean,
yeah, well, you know what? So we were filming on the tour, and I must say it's a very hard thing. I wasn't expecting. I thought it's just fun and nice and great and amazing. Nothing's luxurious about being on tour. Plus, it was the summertime and AC on the bus went down. Oh. So it was it was extreme heat. It was like this summer, right? 2023, August. It was extreme heat. Oh. And we were like, Nashville, Chicago, Texas. So, I've been on the bus only for almost 4 days and nights. I thought I'm going to die. So I don't know how Steven, nailed it, because everybody went crazy. Heat was really, there was people were fighting with each other, musicians, it was just, it was really fun when it was a show and everybody were like cool and stuff. And everything else, it was just so difficult because you basically for a month, right, or more when you tour in one little place, right? So it's really difficult sometimes. We have a part of it. It's in a documentary, by the way.
This is what we captured. This is the thing about this documentary. Nothing that we intended to put in there went exactly to plan, and it just made the story that much more rich and that much more deep in the places that we explore. And it's all capped off by this amazing music and the amazing energy, because Steven is the one that held it all together during that time. He's playing with all these young guys and everything, and they're less than half of his age, some of them, and he's got more energy than those guys.
I was going to say, for even for opening for Fuel, I know those guys are younger than you. Did any of them come up and say anything like, man, like, They couldn't believe how old you are?
No, they couldn't. None of the bands I ever toured with could. I mean, with Slash and Alice Cooper, you don't get a lot of time to talk to those guys because they're super busy and they're doing meets and greets. But like Buck Cherry, Fuel, LA Guns also, we toured with Hardcore Superstar. I think I was 57 when I did that tour. They couldn't believe it. People can't believe my age. I do look a lot younger. But on the tour Diana was talking about in August 2023, if you remember, there was a dome heat wave over the middle of the country.
Yep.
And
we caught this wave fully.
We just pulled off the freeway into the parking lot of this church with a heat index of 130 degrees.
Oh, man.
And so the bus driver couldn't get another bus, so he took an Uber, rented an SUV, all the guys got an SUV, nice air-conditioned SUV, and hotels with 7 shows to go.
Wow.
And I stayed on the bus with the driver until the last 3 shows.
Now, I know that extreme heat had to be wearing on your throat and your vocal cords. And, like, how was that experience trying to perform in that kind of weather?
It didn't really bother me. You know, I mean, I think I'm 68 years old, or, you know, it's hot. Just when the lights come on and the music starts, man, you're 100%. I don't know how it happens. I mean, I've been sick on the road where I could hardly talk, and as soon as the music starts, I'm singing perfectly. I can't really explain it, but those last 4 shows in Texas were outside, so
Wow.
it was like 112 degrees at sound check, right?
Jeez.
You know, but the last 3 days, I went in the SUV and I got a hotel room because I was afraid I was going to die, you know.
Oh, man.
But the driver had our gear on the bus, and I was afraid he'd turn around and go back to Colorado. So I stayed on the bus till I knew he wasn't going to leave, right? Just to make sure we could finish the tour. You know, we almost canceled it when we pulled into that church parking lot, but I've never not played a show, and I can proudly say today, after 17 years, I've never canceled or not played a book show.
That's incredible. Now, the movie itself, the documentary came out August 6th, premiered August 6th. How was the reception? Where did you guys premiere it at? I mean, the Burbank Film Festival, correct?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
what was the reception like?
It was incredible. The theater was packed. Everybody was just praising us, and there was a couple days left at the festival, and they have the big award show and everything. And it's like people came up to us, and like people we had never met before, everything. They're just like, they just loved the movie. They wanted to know when it was getting released. They wanted to be able to share it with people. It was like really, really gratifying, and I was kind of blown away, because I mean, I knew the film was good, but you know, at film festivals, it's hard getting people to, you know, to separate yourself from everybody else and get people to come to your screening and everything. And they showed up.
Yeah, and you know, it was incredible. And I think the message that we have in the movie, and Steven, an example himself, that really, no matter how old you are, you can still rolling, you know, you can still do something that you can, because it's always going to be people who's going to tell you it's too late for this, for that, you can't do that. It's not really like you're not fitting on here and there and everywhere else. So I think the reason why people really, you know, resonated with this, because I think, you know, at some point when we're little, I mean, me too, myself, I know that everybody, especially boys, like we kind of dream about, you know, like being musician, rock musician, oh, that's cool, you know, and then life happens and you're like, okay, I can't really do that, because as we all know, everywhere, like music industry is very tricky. It's not a lot of money. It's huge competition. It's so difficult. There is so, like, you need to be talented, and you also need to be a good businessman. Not everybody can manage this, you know. It's just like they either one thing or not. It's complicated. I have so many friends who's struggling. You need to work on like a lot of different jobs. So so I think everybody like remember the version of themselves, oh, you know, and maybe just got this message like, okay, maybe right now I can do something right now. Not like, I'm not saying go and become a rock musician, but something else that you really wanted to do, right? Because life is very short.
It's really inspirational.
I will say, honestly, as somebody who is 51, who's been a singer all his life, that is a big inspiration for. I'm now working just like you've had other jobs, and like been putting the music thing down, like, yeah, no, because I got married real young, I had kids really young, and kind of put that rock and roll dream away. But seeing Ben, man, it's such an inspiration.
Yeah, it's never too late to live your dream. I think, you know, with the pandemic and the great division in our country, you know, between the right and the left, people have kind of lost sight of the American dream. And the American dream is many things, although one thing that it is if you believe everything is possible, it's never too late. Okay? It's never too late to pursue something that's your dream. And I think the best thing about this movie is that it is a rock and roll movie, and it's a great story, although the message of get up off your ass and don't think you can't get it done. Believe in yourself. And I think that resonated with people. That was the feedback I got from people. How about you, Diana?
Yeah, the same, because if you sit on your ass, then probably nothing's gonna happen, right? So if you're not gonna be trying and pushing, and a lot of people, yeah, they were really, and we actually got nominated as well. We didn't win, but we were just happy because we were happy that we were nominated, and you know, like and that we screened, and we got our premiere with all our crew. But a lot of people came to us and they said, oh, you know, like, we watched the movie, we really wanted you to win. Oh, it's too bad. You know, when it's going to be on TV, when it's going to be, I would like to share this movie with some of my friends, where we're going to be able to see it and where. So it was just really warm, you know, a lot of people, there's a lot of, I don't even know how many, but it's a lot of people on the festival. There were some panel sessions, some movies. I was talking to a lot of people and, you know, telling them about the movie. And they're like, oh, yeah, we saw some trailers. We saw something on Instagram from the festival and stuff. And they're like, yeah, the story is interesting, because I think everybody felt like, ooh, I'm about to be inspired, to get really inspired, you know, and I think our poster is pretty cool. Also, a lot of people were thinking that Van is a Howard Stern because they have some kind of, you know, like similar. Some random people in the Instagram, the page of the movie in the Facebook, is like, what, Howard Stern has a band or whatever. Anyway, it was very funny. And then of course there was like nobody's gonna show up because Howard Stern destroyed America or something like that. And then the fans, dude, it's not Howard. Like, who? Van destroyed America? Anyway, it was really, really funny.
I'm glad she said it, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, man, he looks like Howard.
That's been going on for a long time. But look, we're all kind of humble people. First of all, it's the Burbank International Film Festival. It is one of the top 5 or 6 festivals in the United States. Absolutely. And we were one of 5 documentaries picked. So just being picked is a huge honor. And that shows what a tremendous job.
And nominated.
And nominated. And that just shows what a great job Diana and Todd did, right? It's unbelievable to be just being selected is beyond words. For me, my whole life was kind of laid out there, so I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about it. You know?
So you know, I got to ask the same thing that everybody's been asking, as far as distribution and getting this movie out there and getting eyes on this amazing film. How do people, like, what's next for this film? Do you guys know when it'll be released? Any thoughts to that?
We don't have a release date yet, but we are already in talks with releasing it in Europe first, because Venray has toured Europe extensively. They're huge there, and so it's a lot easier for us to make that one happen. And so we're going to start there, and we're currently working on the domestic distribution plan, and so everybody should keep their eyes peeled for it, because it's truly inspirational. It's a wild ride, and then. The other great thing about seeing it in this theater is the sound system in this theater was amazing, and that music is absolutely unbelievable. So whenever you do get to see it, if you get to see it at home or wherever you can see it, turn it up, because the music rocks.
And what's going on next, Ven, for the band? You guys, well, you had mentioned recording. Just wondering about albums and upcoming tours.
Jason is still fighting cancer. I'm at his house right now in LA, and we wrote 3 new songs. You know, he has to have his 5th surgery for cancer on August 25th.
Oh man.
So we wrote 3 new songs together. I sent him the lyrics, and he put music to it and sang the demo. So I had just put my vocal on 2 of the 3, and I'll go sing the 3rd one once this interview is done. And the plan, management and the record company wants to do is, once they have a release date for the movie, they want to send another single to radio about 60 days before that, and then book a tour in conjunction with the new unreleased album,
Nice.
releasing the day the film is viewable on television in North America or Europe, either way. And so release the record the day it's on TV with a big tour. That could be Europe first, or it could be USA, then Europe. I'm really not quite sure, but I'm guessing probably sometime in the first half of next year, probably.
I will say the beautiful thing about this day and age is social media has such a presence where you don't have to rush out to that tour for fans to be able to keep their eyes on what's going on.
Well, this movie is definitely, you know, it takes if you're not touring constantly, you have to keep your social media presence high.
Yep.
And with Jason getting cancer and pandemics and all kinds of crazy things, this movie has definitely refired up our fan base worldwide. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
And they're willing to wait another 6 or 7 months to see us out on the road again and be able to buy the new record. So, you know, this movie's just done a lot for the band, and it'll do a lot for a lot of people. It'll teach a lot of people that it's never too late. And there might be that old plumber sitting on the couch going, "Yay! I'm doing it for him." You know.
That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight. Really, really looking forward to finally catching a glimpse of this film. And guys, congrats on everything, and we will keep our eyes out for this film. Please,
Yeah,
stay
absolutely. I just want
in
to
contact.
Go to Still Rollin,
Yeah,
themovie.com, and sign up, and you can get updates, and we'll keep you in the loop.
StillRollinTheMovie.com. That's right. We have a website. It's also on Instagram. You can find it there. But when you guys see this movie, you'll see what a fantastic job Diana and Todd did.
Guys, thank you to everybody for being with us. Jason, we're praying for you. And guys, have a great night. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
You too.
much.
Thank you.
Have a great one, guys.
Keep
Bye, guys.
rolling, CT.
You.
All right, guys. That was the crew from Still Rollin'. What an amazing story.